This story took place in Kuwait in the year 1997. Weddings back then were very traditional in Arabic countries, and they still are. Wedding bridal parties would take place in the bride's house before the actual day of the wedding, and these bridal parties usually had a female band group hired to play enchanting Arabic music. A very famous band group well known in the 90s was called Noura. One night, they got a call for an inquiry to play at a bridal party. They negotiated the price, prepared for the party, and got the address on the day of the event. When Noura and her team arrived at the house, it looked beautiful. The outside was lit up with bright lights, and there were children playing and women dressed in elegant gowns. The bride's mother greeted them warmly and took them to a guest room to prepare. At around 9 p.m. Noura and her team started playing. The ladies went wild, dancing with so much energy that it seemed unnatural.
The music didn't stop until midnight.
The band was exhausted and asked the bride's mother for a short break, but she refused. She offered to pay them extra money if they continued playing for 2 more hours. Reluctantly, they agreed. But as they started playing again, something felt off. The women's dancing became more frantic, almost inhuman. Their movements were too fast, too sharp, and their faces were eerily blank. Then, the electricity went out. The room was plunged into complete darkness. But the dancing didn't stop. The women kept moving in the pitch black, their laughter now sounding distorted and unnatural. One of the band members suddenly fainted on stage. The others quickly carried her to the guest room, trying to wake her up. When she finally came to, she was crying and trembling with fear. One of the women, her legs, they weren't human. They looked like goat legs. The team was horrified but couldn't stop playing. They felt that if they stopped, something terrible would happen. Then, they heard strange noises coming from one of the rooms. Loud banging, like something was trying to break free. The bride's mother walked in, her face pale and her eyes wide.
Keep playing. Don't stop.
One of the women suddenly stopped dancing, but her feet didn't. They kept moving on their own, jerking and twisting violently, as if they had a mind of their own. Her body froze, but her feet danced faster and faster, like they were possessed. Then, her head snapped towards the band, and a deep, guttural voice came out of her mouth.
If you stop, you die.
The band was terrified but kept playing. They knew they couldn't stop until morning. Finally, the first light of dawn appeared, and the call to prayer, Fajr, echoed through the air. As soon as the prayer began, the women stopped dancing. One by one, they vanished into thin air. The lights went out, and the house fell silent. Noura and her team ran out of the house, their hearts pounding. On the road, they stopped a man and asked him about the house. We were playing for that house.
The bridal party.
What happened? The man looked confused.
Man, what house?
That place has been abandoned for 30 years.
No one lives there.
Noura and her team turned back to look at the house. It was dark, crumbling, and completely empty.
No lights, no people, no children. Just an abandoned, lifeless building.